The first IQP report we assessed was looking at people with disabilities in Canyon Valley. The common thread targets the large social issue of finding the needs and requirements of people with disabilities in this area. I think it did a good job of mapping out the report in the introduction and the chronological order. In the methodology, I think it did a good job of using a logical order of strategies to find the answer by assessing the perception of the community about people with disabilities, identifying the limitations they face, and determining the resources they have available. It didn't do a good job of using relevant references in the background because it talks about a different project that was about enabling women of the Canyon Valley, which is about the same area but is not relevant to the topic of people with disabilities, and this reference is used throughout the entire report.
One of the IQP reports we read was Autism Speaks, Morocco Listens. The common thread in this report is gathering information about what people with autism in Morocco face and how to better help them. This report does a good job of introducing what is going to be discussed in each chapter. It follows a logical flow, first introducing the problem into a wider context, then going more into detail. However, at times I felt that some of the sentences could have been less wordy or consolidated into one. It references relevant sources and even uses a past survey from 2016. The project goal was more about collecting and analyzing data, so it was up to Autism Speaks to decide what they wanted to do with that data.
The third IQP we looked at was called Promoting Access for Those with Disabilities to the Outdoors in Nantucket. We really enjoyed this IQP report, and particularly we liked one thing about the introduction, which was the fact that it focused on the topic. It was precise and detailed, and after reading that introduction, we knew who, how, and why the project group was helping. The repetition of certain words that relate to this topic also helped us familiarize ourselves with the topic very quickly. What we liked in the background was that the group assumed that the reader had no previous experience dealing with this topic, and so the group made sure that every single word, every single new term that they introduced, even if it was disability or Nantucket, that it was covered, it was explained what it is and where it is in case of Nantucket. It was as if it was written for a 3-year-old. There were certain things with this IQP, however, that we thought are important for us to avoid. One of them was big lack of data. A lot of statements that were made in that report were made generally, and while it's obviously positive that ADA conforming playgrounds are good, we weren't sure how exactly it affected the stakeholder. Moreover, it wasn't tied back to the narrative at certain points. We were presented a piece of data and methodology, and even though it did make sense why they chose to do this for their methodology, we weren't sure how it relates back to the narrative. And we think that it's important to keep asking yourself the question why when you write this report, because that's what the reader would be asking themselves. Why are they giving me this information? Why is it relevant to the topic, and why do I need to know?
So, how should a good IQP report be? Here are the steps.
There are different areas where you can focus so you can have a good IQP report. The first one is introduction. In order to be successful, you need to follow 5 steps. For the first one, you need to know the place where your project is taking place and what impact will the project have in that place. Is it an urban or rural area? Is culture important? Next, you need to know what the sponsor goals are. Is there a problem the community is facing and the sponsor wants it resolved? This is the point where you can introduce your sponsor. Step 3. Research laws that are already in place, or if similar problems have happened in the past and if they can be resolved or not. Then you find if something is unresolved and how you can help it improve. Last but not least, make your reader familiar to the goal of the project and vision the future of the project.
One of the most important parts of an IQP report is also background. Start with an introductory paragraph of your project. Make sure to use descriptive headings so people reading through your report can easily go to different parts of the background. If you have multiple sources, choose the ones that are most relevant to your project and justify why you are using them. Don't forget to distinguish between facts and qualified claims.
For the methodology part, make sure to answer 4 simple questions.
What do you like to learn? Why this information is important? How you will obtain the information? And are there any challenges or limitations you might anticipate? It is true that all these steps help you write a successful IQP report. But the most important key that makes a successful IQP experience is always teamwork.